welcome to the first episode of Heroic Critic, an expanding comic community. My name is Ken, but you can also call me the Optimist. And today we're going to be looking at the resurrection of Kal-El. There's a lot of buzz going on around the internet about how Zack Snyder will resurrect the Kryptonian Superman. And we're going to discuss about some of the theories that can happen in the Justice League movie and some that we can easily dismiss. Alright, so let's dive in. Now the first theory I want to talk about is the most boring in my opinion, the blandest, and I think that it will cause the Superman franchise to just fall and crash. It is theorized that Superman is sleeping. Superman, you're back! I was just catching some Z's. Now I do believe that Superman's death is really something that did happen. And we can see this from the ending scenes of Batman vs. Superman. There was a lot of emphasis on his funeral. We know that there was no body buried in Metropolis, but his real body was buried in Kansas in the grave of Clark Kent. Now, there's another reason why I think his death was very much real, and that is because it'll play a much more bigger role, a much more sinister role in the series that has to do with the Blackest Night comic. But we'll talk about that at the end of this episode. Another idea is that Amanda Waller from the Argos agency will have her hands in bringing back Superman. While the continuity of this idea can be appreciated, actress Viola Davis, who portrays Waller in the film Suicide Squad, is not listed as a cast member in the Justice League movie. And quite frankly, this seems to put a huge spotlight on a B-side organization in the DCEU. Star Labs is another organization we can take a look at who could possibly be responsible in bringing back Superman. Star Labs is a research organization run by scientists that Barry Allen, the Flash, works for. In the credits, we see there is an actor casted for the Star Labs janitor, which means audiences will see a Star Labs appear in the film. Will they play a part in reviving back Superman? Probably not. As you may have noticed in the JLA trailer, Steppenwolf has returned to Earth after his last defeat from the combined forces of the humans, Amazonians, and Atlanteans to use the mother boxes and terraform the Earth and bring back Darkseid's army. One theory we will find is that Darkseid or Steppenwolf will revive the last son of Krypton to use him as the ultimate weapon against Earth and their heroic guardians. Now this could be true. We know Superman or someone who looks like him is going to turn against the JLA based on Bat and the Vision and Dawn of Justice. The only problem I see with this is that the mother boxes are only really used for terraforming and healing, and I'm not sure that they possess the power to bring back life from the dead. Possibility? Who knows? We will revisit the evil Superman approach in a minute, but for this theory, I want to focus on Wonder Woman, Batman, and Lois Lane, who have all been speculated to bring back the Men of Steel. Batman is preparing for an invasion by assembling the JLA, and maybe he might set aside enough time to figure out how to resuscitate Superman. Maybe Batman is using this time to allow Superman to regenerate or regain his strength. Wonder Woman is also thought to use the lasso of truth on Lex Luthor to find out what he knows about the Kryptonian technology in order to find a solution. But we can go ahead and discredit that due to the fact that we know Lex Luthor will no longer be joining the cast of the Justice League for this movie. In the trailer, we see Lois Lane have a vision of Kal-El. This could allude to Lois Lane being confronted by some Kryptonian spirit or hologram who leads her along the path to bringing back Kal-El. But this theory would interfere with the evil Superman approach, which is the idea that I am hoping for. Now I have saved the best for last. Back in the 90s, DC introduced The Reign of Superman, a series which depicts the Eradicator, a Kryptonian machine that was created to safeguard the Kryptonian lineage by maintaining the livelihood of the Kryptonian Codex that is part of Superman's genes. The Eradicator snatches the body of Superman and puts him in a regeneration chamber, which makes a clone of Superman with the same characteristics, and memories. To an extent. I think the clone will return, tricking the world into thinking he is the real Superman, since the Eradicator clone thinks himself so. But the difference between this clone and the real Superman is the fact that the Eradicator has no remorse when it comes to killing. So his volatile nature may cause him to change sides and join Darkseid's cause, since Darkseid has always wanted to turn Superman evil and use his genetic codex to create an army. This theory is backed up by the scene in Batman vs. Superman where Batman has a vision of Barry Allen warning him about Superman, stating, "You were right about him, fear him." Then going on to saying, "Am I too soon?" From that, we can gather that the Flash went back in time to warn Batman about an evil version of Superman, although he went back too far. Batman might have misunderstood this message and interpreted it as a warning to the real Superman at the wrong time, telling him he was right to fear him, meaning when Superman comes back, Batman will probably be the only one questioning the return of the Kryptonian with distrust, possibly even keeping Lois away from the evil clone, which leaves the Eradicator version of Superman emotional and hostile, someone only the real Superman can defeat. At this time, Clark will emerge from the regeneration chamber that the Eradicator put him in, possibly too late. Regardless of what theory is valid or how the DCEU brings back the Man of Steel, I think he did die and is not hibernating. And the reason why is due to the Blackest Night. The Green Lantern comic event that I hope will become a movie in the near future. I don't know if you've read these comics, but any heroes who have died are possessed by the Black Lantern rings, whose corpse is led by Necron, or Death himself. I won't go into too much detail about what happens in these comics, but I will state that Superman will have to have died in order for this storyline to work. Also, the Blackest Night is told to be on the anniversary of Superman's D-Day, which has obviously been depicted in the DCEU. Before I wrap this up, I want to mention Clark Kent, the reporter from the Daily Planet who has been stated to have died. How can Superman return and keep his mortal alter ego? Will Superman admit his identity, or will Clark Kent develop some sort of obscure lie that his death was inappropriately pronounced? Let's hear your ideas on this as well below, and please comment. Please feel free to subscribe to our channel so that we can continue to talk about superhero media, and also check out our discussion forum on heroiccritic.com. I'm your host, The Optimist. Thank you for checking out our channel. Catch you next time.